Hello and welcome everyone to this AX Semantics webinar. This time I want to show you what AX Semantics is all about, how you can create texts with our system. I am Peter Schmitt, I'm Customer Success Agent with AX Semantics, and I'm guiding you through this webinar today. What are we going to do today? First, I'm going to introduce AX Semantics itself to you. So who are we as a company? What do we offer? How does AX Semantics work? I will explain to you how it works in principle. Then I will give a short tour of the software. I will show you how to implement a small text project with us. So who are we? We are AX Semantics, and we were founded as an editorial office for web content. So not only do we produce a software, but we also have a lot of know-how on how online copy works. What can we give you? We do data to text. What does data to text mean? Look at an example. You can see that we have an input of structured data here on the left side, like we have a table about a tire with its features, like what car is it for, how fast can you drive it, what type of car it's for, what kind of season in the year it's for. And we get this table for each tire, and we can produce a text like this on the right, which is nicely humanly readable, which has a consulting part in it so that we can explain the actual features, like what does it mean to have a certain aspect ratio, or what does it mean to have a certain speed rating. This will make the text more interesting for the user, better ranking in search engines, and actually can heighten your conversion rate and reduce the return rate because the product got explained better on your site. We can do the same thing not only for products, but also for pretty much any topic that has a structured data format as an input. So for example, here we have a soccer match described. Anything that can be captured in any way of structured data, be it an Excel sheet or be it some other database form, we can create a text configuration on and produce some kind of text over. What are our main business cases? So what do we focus on? Our main business case we are ourselves focusing on and focusing our machine on is the e-commerce, of course. We want to boost traffic to your site. We can help you boost conversion rates. We can help you reduce return rates because we can explain the product better. So this is actually the main part of our customer base, usually because the products usually have quite good data. So it's relatively easy to start working with us if you have product data and are doing e-commerce. We do some other topics too. We also produce sports articles or weather information. We also went to the topic of business intelligence and virtual assistants and chatbots. We also have some projects done with finance and reporting where we are analyzing the financial situation of the company and put it into human readable reports to give to your executives. Now, the most important part, how do we solve the pains you have in dealing with copy? First, we can help you save time because writing content, writing copy takes time. If you write every single piece by hand, usually you don't have enough time to write all the copy you need for every single one of your products. With our machine, you are creating a configuration for that product one time and then can create as many copy as you'd like. So after the configuration is done, the creation of an actual copy for one product is literally a matter of under a second. It's just a press of a button. So you can text for your whole portfolio if you want in a few minutes. If you have a huge portfolio of products, it's just not doable to create copy for every single one because the costs for manual labor to do it would be absolutely prohibitive. With our machine, same as above, you do the configuration one time and then can have as many copy as you'd like, as long as it's the same kind of product. And you can save a lot of labor costs that way. Manual texts, because of the two concerns I introduced before, is very inflexible. You cannot go over a large portfolio of products and change every single text, let's say for Christmas season or for summer. With our machine, again, you only have to adapt one single project on our system and you are changing your whole portfolio's copy. This makes a few new ways of using text possible. So for example, you could personalize the text to the individual user or to a class of user. We actually have a new product that does that. So you can adapt your whole stock of copy in very short time and do new things with your copy that way. And our machine can produce all of that copy in pretty much any language you could wish for. And if we don't have it, we can build it. So instead of creating very expensive copy and then put it into a also very expensive translation company and getting it back a few days later at best, create a project with us in the several languages you might want, click a button and you have your copy in all your languages with a click of a button again. So this also may well be the introduction of internationalization in your online shop or similar things. How does AX Semantics work? I give you a small schematic here. Pretty much our system needs data input, just as I showed you. We need features of your product or the other things you want text for. You create a project in our system. This is a configuration, which then turns the data that you give us into a human readable text. Let's go to our platform. So this is a project when you freshly created it. I have already uploaded a few data sets. Today we are going to talk about mobile phones. First, let's look at those data again. You see that we have all the features that we want to see in the text written here as the input data. We know what brand the smartphone is from. We know what color it has. We know that it is a smartphone. We know what display size it has. Every single product has the same features, but in different values, of course. So this is an iPhone 7 and the Galaxy Note 4. So the structure of the data is always the same, but the content is different. Now, to create a text based on this data, first I have to look at what is in this data. So we have created this analysis tool in here where our machine goes over all of the data sets and looks at what is in there and gives us a summary. So for example, for the features, we can see what features this phone has or what feature any phone has. We can see what colors we have in all of our phones. So for example, we see that we have 2 blacks and we have 1 golden phone. This is very important to structure the text later. And this area gives you an actually pretty good insight about your data, information relevant to create the content. Once I've done my data analysis, I can create pretty much sentences. This I will do in our right section in here. You just type in your sentence like I will do now. This will be my headline. I'll do a headline first, so I can configure this to be a headline. But what I typed here at first will come out for every single product. So I have to configure that these parts of this headline should be exchanged with the actual values from the data sets. And how can I do that? It's pretty simple. For just connecting the data set in here, if you just want to paste the values and this place, I can mark the spot where I want to have that data, and then I can simply drag the data value that is provided to me here based on that analysis I just did onto this container, as we call it, and our machine will paste it. Same thing here. You see, it already changed. It knows that it has to put the name of the phone in here, and it says Galaxy S7 now. And I will do the same thing for our memory capacity. And when we look at the other phones, you see Samsung Galaxy S7, 16 gigabytes. That was the example I just did before. When I click on the iPhone 7, I have the same headline, the same format of headline, but of course with the new data. And the same thing for Galaxy Note 4. And you pretty much do this for all the sentences you want in your result text. I'm doing another one, same thing. I will mark the places where I want to have my values. So category you are missing. Okay, but that's not a problem. So it was missing because it wasn't present in every single phone. So I can create it by hand. And now you see what this dragging of the data fields to my text actually produced. It creates these these nodes here, these boxes, where this one reads in the value from the data set, and this one forwards it to my sentence. This I pretty much have to do for every single data set or data field, pretty much. And you see, I did that for the category right now. Let's select another phone to test, and you see I have the smartphone as an input. Need to provide that also, category. And just as before, now I have it available here and I can drag it here. Now you see the article, the vanished. This is because I want to have the automatically created by our system. Now, English is a pretty boring language in that regard because it's always the, but in other languages, there are several types of determiners articles. Let's say in German, you can say der, die, or das, depending on the gender of the word. And even in English, we can switch between the and this, for example. So let's do that. Our machine creates, I will say what kind of determiner I want, the smartphone, but I can also select another one like this smartphone. But let's keep it at the and select that it's in uppercase in the front. So this I did before, so this is quick. iPhone 7 from not Samsung anymore, but this time the brand is Apple, is equipped with the operating system Android. Android, I didn't connect Android before, so operating system, I can again drag it here, is equipped with the operating system iOS. What do we have now? We already have a headline and the first sentence. Galaxy S7 from Samsung is equipped with the operating system Android. So this is the case where the smartphone, where the category was missing. I can work around that by giving it an alternative. So I'm going to show you how it looks if it's not present. You can see that this is not present. And I can add an alternative in here. Okay, so if I have the category present, it will be taken. If the category is not present, I'll have a default now. So sentence looks like this now. If I have the smartphone, it will be given correctly. And you see all the other parts of the text also adapt. Right now, this is just an ad lib, but of course that's not all our machine can do. So now let's come to decision making. How does our machine decide what it has to say? And for that, I want to talk about the size of the phone. Now you see, this is an evaluation of the size of the phone. It can be either larger, so it can be a large phone, or it can be a smaller phone. You see, I put what we call a branching here, which is pretty much an alternative inside of a sentence. As I build it right now, our machine will switch around these two at random. But of course, I want to put a rule there when it is a larger phone and when it is a smaller phone. And this is where we need to go to this transform part of our system. We can create rules in here that decide these things. So first, I'm going to use this function to create the data reading. Okay, the size. I know that it's 5" now. And now I can write my rules in nodes like this. So this one is pretty simple. I just want to know, is my smartphone greater than 5". So this one is. Again, I have to attach this variable in the end. And I can give it a name, is large. And for the smaller ones, just duplicate this, turn around the rule, and you see it's not small. Go back to my sentence, select the rules, and we're done. You already see a preview which one is valid for this test item. When I switch them around, this one doesn't have the value, so we can say nothing at all. And when we have a small phone, it looks like this. How does it look in the text? So for the larger phones, thanks to the 5" of display, it is one of the larger models on the market. This is the smaller one. Thanks to the 5" of display, it is one of the smaller models on the market. I can, of course, add the number too. Didn't do that already. And if it's an iPhone 7, which doesn't have the data field, it's just one of the models on the market. Of course, we need to do an escape for that. So you can see this data field is missing. I can just say another rule has display size and switch my whole statement based on that. And if I don't have a display size given, the whole sentence vanishes. So the text is always correct, is always adequate for the current product, and I can create pretty specific copy for every single product. One more thing I want to show is a main way to create variants, because like this, all texts would be the same. So I can, just as I had done with this part here, with this splitting, I can do another variant for the whole sentence. Let's copy this down here. Now put the value in. What now happens is our machine can switch between these two at random. So for every single product or for every single text we generate, our machine will pick one. So please watch here. This larger model has 5 inches of display, and if I regenerate the same product, it takes the other one. I regenerate the same thing again. It shows this one again this time, and I can do that a few times, and it will be pretty much 50-50 what kind of variant our tool takes. And if you do that enough over all of your statements, you will get very, very unique statements. So how does this configuration look in a larger project? We have created this project in a longer version. So this is actually from our example projects on our platform. You can also visit those on your own. What do we have here? You see we have much more branches for variants here. We have much more evaluations of the data, not just small and big, but we have also an average in there. Yeah, it's just more of the same. A few more rules, you see. So this is just evaluates more, and the result, the payoff for all that effort is a text like this based on data like this. So we have a lot of features, but we have a pretty huge text about this product. We can also play with the text structure to create more variants. So when I regenerate this, you see this text looks completely different, but it's done with the same statements. They are just structured in a different order. Once again, you see we have these two ways to show it. This is the end of my demonstration of the tool itself. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.